Hello, everybody. This is Gary. Today is October 22nd, 2022. It's 1:04 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the United States in Rochester, New York. And this is my coping with schizophrenia blog entry for today. Today I went outside a little while to pick up some prescriptions, and my paranoia was really bad. I thought people were yelling at me, screaming at me, following me, plotting against me, um, generally trying to harm me, to disrupt my life. I saw random people I thought were talking at me. I heard people yelling at me, and I have no evidence that they actually were. I felt like I was being followed onto the bus and off the bus, and just generally being watched by multiple people at the same time wherever I went. So my paranoia today is really, really bad. It's really, really strong. My delusions today are really, really bad and really, really strong. My auditory hallucinations are not that bad today, but my depression, my anxiety, my paranoia and delusions are pretty severe today. I'm having a hard time coping. I just took my new medications about an hour ago. I'll probably take some Klonopin in a little while to try to calm down. Um, but my psychiatric symptoms today are not the best. I really, really feel uncomfortable. I really, really feel agitated. Um, and it's always harder on the weekend because I can't call my therapist. I can't call my peer support specialist. There are other places I could call. I could go to psychiatric urgent care, which is not the same thing as the psychiatric emergency room. It's more of a place where you just go in and talk to people, where they're not well, while they're not there necessarily to decide if you need to be in the psychiatric hospital or not. It's just a place to go when you need somebody to talk to. Um, I might go there later today. It's open from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. 7 days a week. It's at one of the local hospitals here in Rochester, New York. It's not a psychiatric emergency room. It's more like a psychiatric urgent care. Um, and of course, I could always call a crisis hotline where they will send a team out to evaluate me and talk to me without necessarily going to the psychiatric emergency room. I haven't decided if I'm going to do either one of those options. It depends on how the rest of my day goes. But I feel really scared, fearful, afraid. I'm not convinced that I'm not being followed. I'm not convinced that I'm not being plotted against. I'm not being. I'm not convinced that I'm not being watched and spied on. And that's the scary part. I can't always tell reality from fantasy or psychosis or delusion or paranoia. Um, Winter is always more difficult. And today's not a bad day in Rochester as far as the weather goes. It's actually kind of warm out and kind of sunny. But as the days get shorter and the nights get longer, my psychiatric symptoms tend to get worse over time as winter approaches, and then winter finally comes here. Um, I'm in a certain degree of physical pain, which is why I take Cymbalta, Flexeril, and Neurontin for pain. I also take Tylenol and sometimes Motrin for pain. But anyways, my symptoms are pretty bad today, and the physical pain only makes my psychiatric symptoms worse, and my psychiatric symptoms always make the physical pain worse, so it goes around in circles and just keeps getting worse and worse in both directions. Um, So I'm coping the best that I can. I'm in control of my behavior. I'm not suicidal. I'm not violent, but I am very, very uncomfortable and very, very fearful.